Hi guys, today I'm going to be looking at what we're going to the analysis for this week. What are the trades that I'm going to be placing for the week? So I will start with Euro GDP. Euro GDP, this is looking like a buy to me. I'm looking for placing market execution next week. So if not market execution, I'm going to be placing pending order. So this is what I'm looking at. There's a massive inverse head and shoulder pattern around this area on the monthly time frame. Then when we come back to the weekly time frame, this is what I'm looking at on the weekly time frame. We're looking at price has corrected here significantly. We have one touch here, we have the second touch here, we have the third touch here, and we have the fourth touch here. So this is looking like a triple bottom. And we have a push towards the upside. Then we have a continuation. This is like a correction for a continuation to the upside. That's what the monthly time frame is looking at on Euro USD, and this is looking like a neckline. Price just broke a little bit below the neckline region, and this month is currently closing above the zone, the resistance zone that is now going to be support. So this is what I'm looking at on the monthly time frame. Then when we come to our weekly time frame, so on the monthly time frame, I'm looking at the price is presently bullish. Then when we come to our weekly time frame, initially I was looking at this because this is a significant correction towards the downside. We have a push, we have a correction, we have a push, we have a correction, we have a push, we have a correction. So this correction is looking similar as this correction and this correction. So it's not new. This correction is not new. It's a little bit deep, but the correction is not new because it has happened here, it has happened here. So I'm looking forward for a continuation to the upside. Initially, I was looking at this as a head, left shoulder, and right shoulder, and this is also a double bottom. That was why I did not take this trade yesterday and last week for a buy. So right now, price has currently broken the shoulder level, and this is looking like a clear buy to me as of this week. So, how I'm going to be taking my trade this week is this. I'm come to my daily time frame. When I see what price is doing on the daily time frame, we have a push towards the upside. We have an inverse head and shoulder pattern around this area. We have a correction. We have a correction, we have a push, we have a correction, we have a push. So, price, there is no technical level around this area that price needs to test anymore. If the price come back to test any area around this area, then it's no longer a test because there's nothing here to test. So I'm looking forward for a push to test this area, then maybe a correction downwards. This candle, this weak rejection needs to be covered. It's not yet complete. Before I need to see a push around this area. Then if the market wants to correct, then it can correct back to this area for continuation to the upside. That's what I'm looking at on Euro GDP. So next week I'm going to be placing a trade for a buy market execution. So I'll look at what the market is doing on the 4-hour time frame. This is what I'm looking at on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm expecting price to push back to this region. If price can retest this area, then a bounce. I'm expecting a bounce. Then this is what I'm going to be placing because this is looking like a correction. This is looking like a push. This is looking like a correction, a 4-hour correction around this area for continuation to the upside. However, if I see a 4-hour bullish engulfing candlestick pattern around this area, even if it did not tag me in, I'm going to place a trade market execution for a buy. That's my take on Euro GDP as of the moment. Then let's check what the next pairs are doing. The next pairs I'm going to be looking at next week. We have BTC. What am I looking at on BTC next week? BTC, sorry, my chart is a little bit slow. We'll come to our monthly time frame. This is what I'm looking at on BTC on the monthly time frame. We have a push. We have a structural region around this area that price is testing. This is the initial previous highs, double top that brought the market downwards. That's the 60K region that brought the market downwards. This is a push. This is a significant supply region around this area. We have a push. We have a correction. We have a push. Price has broken all this level presently, and price is currently testing the 60K region, which is the initial previous high, and the significant demand region around this area. So this level is looking like it wants to continue to the upside to create another high. So this is simple. This is price action. This is the way price action works. So I'm expecting a significant correction around this area. What the market is doing is just it's not yet ready for the upside. Look at what happened here. Let's count this monthly candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. That's 6 months around this area formation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 months consolidation around this area. For this market to push towards the upside around the structural region here, we have to see a significant correction around this area. Definitely. Like 3 to 4 months, 4 to 5 months of consolidation around this area for a push towards the upside. Because, just think about it. If something wants to go like create a new high, it needs to form a proper base. Look at it. This area forms a proper base around this area before they push the significant push towards the upside. So it needs to create a proper base. The market cannot push up like this. The market does not push up like this. It needs to balance out properly around this area. So when we come to a weekly time frame, if you see the market is kind of still correcting. So all this is just correction to me as of the moment. This is just correction to me. So initially I was expecting a more correction. Initially I was expecting a more correction towards the upside for continuation to the downside, but price is looking corrective towards the downside. So this is looking like it's going to form a base around this area, like a 4 months consolidation around this area for continuation to the upside. So on BTC, it's just basically consolidation that I'm seeing presently. Then we come back to what the candles are doing on the daily time frame. The candles is still consolidating. There's nothing to trade around this area. It's all consolidation. So I'm not going to be taking any buy or sell trade around for BTC as of the moment because it's all consolidation. So let's give it another time. We'll look at this maybe some other weeks when the price is already ready. So the next pair that I'm going to be checking is EURUSD. EURUSD. What am I looking at on EURUSD as of this week? Let's come back to our monthly time frame. Our monthly time frame, this is what the price is saying on the monthly time frame. We have a significant correction around this area. We have a triple bottom around this area that pushed the market to the upside. We have a correction, we have a push, we have a drop towards the downside. We have a double top around this area plus a head and shoulder pattern that dropped the market downwards. We have a correction. Initially, I was looking for price to correct back to this area for continuation to the upside, but it did not happen. Price came here and was consolidating. So I was expecting that price is going to come back to test the neckline region, consolidate here, come back to test the neckline region for continuation to the upside. But price did not as well. So this is now looking like a consolidation to me, consolidation on the monthly time frame. If you know how I trade on the weekly time frame, this pattern that I'm seeing here is looking like an exhaustion on the monthly time frame. Exhaustion on the monthly time frame. So that's why I'm considering a sell as of the moment. Euro USD is looking like a sell, and the candle actually closed bearish. The candle actually closed bearish, not a significant bearish, but kind of an indecision bearish. So on the weekly time frame, it's going to confirm what the candles are really doing if I am not understanding it on the monthly time frame. So on the weekly time frame price, I was expecting price to, because of this base around this area, push up correction for a continuation to the upside. Initially, that was what I was looking at on Euro USD. But as of the moment, we have a push towards the upside. We have a drop. This significant drop around this area, I was expecting the market to go back down last week, but the price did not push. However, I had it in my rule. There's something in my rule that states that if the weekly candles is not looking significantly bullish, it might just be forming a demand or supply region around that area. So how am I going to clarify that statement that I just made when we come back to our daily time frame? If you see prices presently forming a corrective structure, it's going to be looking like a demand, a supply region around this area. So, but just that this can either be a correction for continuation to the downside, or this can actually be a base. That's why it's a little bit dicey on Euro USD. The both side is correct. If the market decide to push towards the upside, is correct because this is a double bottom. And if the market decide to push towards the downside, it's correct because this is a corrective structure for a continuation to the downside. So that's why you need to be careful. But from my own personal perspective, I still see that Euro USD is bearish. So, but I'm kind of expecting a manipulation around this area. When I see a manipulation around this area, touch this area, then for a drop towards the downside. So when I snap at my Fibonacci, what am I looking at on the Fibonacci? I was looking at price is going to test the Fibonacci region. Yeah, this yellow area. That's what I'm looking at for price to test this Fibonacci area, manipulate this resistance around this area, manipulate this resistance, then drop towards the downside. That's what I'm expecting on Euro USD actually. So I'll come back to my 4-hour time frame. What am I looking at on my 4-hour time frame? Price is looking very corrected. It's looking like a sell to me. It's not looking like a buy. But I am expecting a push towards the downside and a correction towards the downside. But when I see a break, 4-hour candle break of this counter trend line, then I'm going to be placing a trade for a sell. But I could take a risky trade. I could take a risky trade around this area, put my entrance around this region. I could take a risky shot around this area. This is going to be a risky shot. Put my entrance around this area. Then initial target is going to be the 100% retracement. Then price is going to continue downward. This one, my stop loss is going to come around this region. Then price is going to break. Then when you break the counter trend line, then I'm going to be placing multiple position for a sell. When I see a break of the counter trend line, then I'm going to be placing multiple position for a sell. I just want a manipulation around this area. That's all. I just want to see a manipulation around this area because price is really looking bearish to me as of the moment. Then the next pair that I'm going to be checking is DXY. What is DXY doing? DXY is just Euro USD inverted. Most likely I'm going to be seeing the same thing on DXY. I come back to my monthly time frame. What am I looking at on the monthly time frame? We have a correction around this area, significant correction around this area that pushed the market upwards. We have a correction around this area that pushed the market upward. We have a correction around this area. Then there's a counter trend line, which is this that is running, and price has presently closed. The monthly candle has presently closed above that trend line, which is good. Price has currently closed above the trend line, and we have a triple bottom as of the moment. Then we'll come back to our weekly time frame. What am I looking on the weekly time frame? Price has created a triple bottom around the weekly time frame, and not only a triple bottom, an extra bottom, a triple bottom 1, 2, 3, and an extra bottom, which is this bottom, which is the kind of price action that I like to see. However, this is also structural region around here that can drop the market downwards. That was the same thing I was looking at on Euro USD. This is a structural region, can drop the market downward. And also this is also looking like a continuation to the upside. So on the daily time frame, however, this is what I'm looking at. This can easily be a double top. Why is it why can it easily be a double top? Because this is a structural region number one, and this is kind of a double top around this area. This and this is a double top. So price could easily drop downwards, or this is also a corrective structure for a continuation to the upside because price has given a higher high, a higher low, a higher high. This is kind of a double top, and this is looking like a correction to the upside. So it's just a little bit of patience. Once price break this structural region around here, we are going to be having a push towards the upside. Then DXY is going to be the next level target for DXY is going to be 100 region for DXY. So, but if price breaks down, then we are going to have a continuation to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at on Euro USD. The next pair I'm going to be checking is what GDP JPY is doing. GDP JPY, on the other hand, I come back to my monthly time frame. I was kind of looking like GDP JPY. GDP JPY monthly time frame has actually closed indecision candle bearish as of the moment. So we have a triple bottom around this area, 1, 2, 3 that push the market upward. We had a correction. We have a push, we have a correction, we have a push, we have a correction around this region. So that's what I'm looking at on GDP JPY. Then we have a correction, we have a push. So price is looking like um um price is looking like it has exhausted the push towards the upside. So I'm looking for a correction towards the downside to test this region for a continuation to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at. So for the XY, this is what I'm expecting. We have a push, but the price actually closed below the neckline. It did not close above the neckline, it closed below the neckline because this is a weekly double top around this area. Price actually closed below the neckline. So this is kind of tricky as of the moment. So I'm expecting price because if you check what price is doing as of then, this is looking like a correction, this is looking like a drop to the downside. If you snap out your Fibonacci, what is Fibonacci doing? Check from the previous high to this place, you're going to see that this is a Fibonacci region. This can be a retest. This can be a retest of the neckline for a continuation to the upside, or this can easily be a continuation to the downside. So when I see a significant correction around this area, maybe two more daily candles around this region, then a drop towards the downside, the break of the counter trend line, I'm going to be selling GDP JPY. But I'm kind of leaning more on the downside and on the upside. I don't know why, but it's still kind of 50-50. The only time I'm going to be doing the buy is when we break above this region. When we break above this region and close above this region, then I'm going to be looking for a buy. But presently, I'm kind of looking for a sell around this area once we break the counter trend line. I'm just expecting correctional structure around this area for continuation to the downside. Next part that I'm going to be checking is what oil is doing. What am I looking at on oil trade on the monthly time frame? This is what I was looking at. So I was looking at oil, this triple top around this area that brought the market downwards, and we have inverse head and shoulder pattern around this region. Then we have a push towards the upside. Then we have a correction. We have a push. We have a correction. So price broke and gave us up to 130, 125 region and broke downwards. Then we have correction. Present, we are looking like a base. We're looking like this as a base presently around this area. We have a significant push towards the upside. Then price has currently broken the counter trend line that I was checking, just looking at what price is doing, trying and looking at what price is doing. So on the weekly time frame, however, this is what I'm looking at. Remember, we took a loss around this area. This was a retest. I was expecting maybe a proper base around this area, but I realized that a retest is a retest. No need to take it anymore, even if there is a double top around that region. So we have a push towards the upside for continuation to the upside. So we took a trade and we're presently in the trade on oil. So I'm expecting a further continuation to the upside because price has given a significant correction around this region. This is a significant correction around this area. Then I'm looking forward for price to continue to push towards the upside. So Is there going to be a pullback? There is not going to be a pullback because all technical level has been fulfilled from what I can see, because I'm expecting to see like one technical level that have not been fulfilled. Because if you check here, this is a push, this is a correction to test this technical level around this area. We have a push, this level has also been tested. It's looking like a market order for continuation to the upside. I'm not expecting any significant test anymore. It's looking like a market order to me as of the moment. That's what I'm looking at on oils. Maybe tomorrow price is going to just continue. Maybe this region, maybe a little test around this region, but it's not going to be surprising if price just continue to the upside. But I'm going to be placing another pending order around this area for buy, another pending order. So this is how I'm going to be placing my trade for a long. If I want to take oil position here, then stop loss is going to come around this area. Then TP is going to be towards the upside. This is going to be easy to get there because there's war that is going on. So where's my system hanging? So that's what I'm expecting on oil. So I'm looking for a push towards the upside. Maybe it's going to break this region the way that I'm seeing for a further push towards the upside. It's going to break this region for a further push towards the upside. So that's what I'm looking at on oil as of the moment. Then the next pair that I'll just be scrolling through is what AUD New Zealand is doing. I think that's the last pair that I'm going to be talking about this week. My computer is kind of stalling. So I think the next pair that I'm going to be looking at is AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand. This is what I'm going to be checking on AUD New Zealand. On the monthly time frame, this is what I'm looking at. I'm expecting a further correction towards the downside. On the monthly time frame, is kind of looking bullish as well on the monthly time frame. So I'm expecting price, because we have a correction around this area. Look, there's a significant correction around this area, and price is looking like it's already getting tired around this region. So let me arrange my computer properly. Price is looking like it's currently tired. We have a correction here. This is the daily time frame. Let me not go too far. This is the daily time frame. This is what I'm looking at on the daily time frame. So we have a correction, we have a push, we have a correction, we have a push, we have a correction. This is looking like a little correction towards this area, and we have a push. So I'm expecting price to get to this region, but I'm expecting a more correction. If you look, price is already exhausted around this area. So I'm expecting more correction to test this region for a continuation to the upside. So I'm looking forward for price to test this top region or this area. These are the two levels that I'm looking forward for price to test. If I see a bounce from this area, I'm going to be placing a trade for a buy. But if price decided to break this level and come to this level, then it's going to be a weekly retest. It's going to be a weekly retest. So that's what I'm expecting on AUD New Zealand. So that's the end of my analysis for this week. I'll be seeing how the market is going to play out.